BBAI has gotten that bounce at that $6 psychological level, and we continue to see back and forth. Now, should we be trending back to the top of this range at that 787 to that $8 psychological level, and then ultimately to the highs of this last run up at that 872? Or are we going to get pushed back down to the floor, seeing that seller movement? All right, guys, starting this analysis on the weekly time frame, BBAI has seen a bit of back and forth here as we've trended to this zone. The AI business is doing well and growing, and there's a lot of increased buying pressure. We have been held up in this zone and in this formation for some time. As we've seen in the past, every time we touch on BBAI, I like to explain that this thing's very volatile and it likes to get its move up and down. There's not a lot of chop or hang time while these breakouts happen. 3 weeks to the upside, 1 week of correction, 3 more weeks to the upside, reaching all-time highs. Same thing, very quick move up, quick move down, 1 week up, 1 week down, and then we see a shift in price action. We get an ascending profile. Once breakout-like candles turned into an ascending kind of profile and energy building zone. That's where you see that huge move up to that $10 level, 1036. That being 1 week of a very explosive movement, and then a correction of around 4 strong weeks, and continuation bringing us back down to the floor, and we find another energy building phase, kind of ascending up on an ascending support once again. Not quite as volatile here, but nevertheless, nice ascending support and energy building phase. And then we see a very nice movement up, very explosive, volatile movement up, followed by all-time high volume. That's what leads us to the high of 872. And instead of getting a very sharp movement back down or quick movement down, quick movement up, we're going on around 6 weeks now of back and forth within this range. We do have one more day left in this week. We do see a considerable amount of selling pressure on this week so far. In the last couple of weeks, we did see seller dominance, but we are within this range, and when buyers needed to get that bounce, they did get that bounce. So weekly stands pretty self-explanatory. New price action, continued chop within this range of around that $6 psychological level and that high of $8. So sooner than later, we're going to get a breakout either to the downside or the upside. We're going to turn to the daily to see what we should expect. All right, guys, now on the daily time chart, we see that in our last BBI video we got that bounce here at that $6 level. Very nice to see as sellers really started gaining that control, kind of breaking the support that we had going on, kind of squeezing in this pennant, looking for a move up. Sellers did win that fight. They got that movement down, brought us to the floor of $6. That's where you see that nice correction. So once we hit that floor, guys, we do see roughly a 20% move to the upside, and then sellers try to step in here. Today, sellers did close in favor, but we did see a considerable amount of buying pressure as they trend around that spot of 622. So nice reaction from the buyers, but sellers are continuing to show that they are in this fight. And as of more recent times, we are in an obvious descending range here, right? Descending from that top. Definitely want to see buyers step in on the next couple of days of price action, recorrect from this movement in a nice volatile, aggressive fashion, and then continue their trend up to that 787, that being a stubborn resistance zone, then ultimately going past and hitting that $8 psychological level, and then testing that 872, that being the all-time high of this more recent area. So as long as we stay in this range, I do remain neutral for the long term. I favor the buyers. I think we are in a nice position here, kind of recorrecting price action, not getting that big shutdown. Buyers do hold that majority of the move after getting a nice move up. Sellers can only correct around half of that movement, and we still see a lot of nice back and forth. As long as volume can start flushing back in here, as we hit around all-time high volumes, and we kind of been declining from there, as long as volume can flush in here and aid a nice buyer movement up, should be touching that ceiling and try to get past that, guys. But looking pretty nice here. Saw a pretty solid green candle, a little bit of selling pressure, nice solid green candle, getting us further above, kind of closing right around that $7 level, that 710 level. We see that price has trouble reaching that 730-ish rough level. Try to get up there, push us down. Once again, buyers try to push us up to that level and get pushed down once again. Followed up by 2 more red candles, and now closing at that 661 level. Right, buyers and sellers are just battling out between that $8 and $6 psychological level. And the next couple of weeks of price action will really tell us where price is headed. If we can kind of find an ascending profile, trying to push us to the top of that range, or if sellers can push us back down on the floor here, looking for that retest where buyers would have to find that double bottom bounce, or sellers would have to flush the stock further down. All right, guys, on the hourly chart, we see that descending range that we've gotten into after breaking that pennant. We see an obvious stair-step pattern leading to that structure, right? Buyers are winning this fight. Nice big move up, smaller correction, nice big move up, smaller correction, nice big move up to the ceiling and high of this recent move. Kind of bring us back down, find that support level at 622. Leads us to another run up, hitting that resistance and really creating that resistance from that last tap of 872. From there, we come back down, meet back up with this support level. Very reactive at this point. Once we hit that support, we get that move back up try to break through that resistance level there, but once again, resistance stays in play and we get back to that support, but this time the support cannot hold and we flush all the way back down to the floor of $6. That really being the last point where we could bounce. Past that $6 level, you'd be looking around that 550 for a possible bounce, or very close to that 580. So nice that we found that bounce there. Not a whole lot of areas where we could find support from that psychological $6 level. So buyers really step in when they have to step in, leading to a nice movement up, smaller pullback, and nice move up. Once you hit around the top of where we found that continued rejection, we kind of reject there, come back down. We don't hit the floor of 622, hold slightly above it, and then we see buyers trying to step in once again. So lots of back and forth going on here, guys. I think we don't see a clear winner just yet. Very nice reaction from the buyers there. Sellers won that battle within this pennant, but then buyers have picked it up once we've hit the bottom there. So I think that we continue to trend upwards unless we get in a clear descending pattern where, next trading day, buyers try to push it up, continue to descend back down to the floor. Then you can see sellers try to get that movement. But I do think we have a better chance of buyers kind of squeezing out here, retesting the top levels right around that 730 to 735 level, breaking through that, and that's where you'd be seeing a very nice test of that 787. So we remain bullish. We see very volatile consolidation and chop after that breakout, chopping between that $6 and $8 level. We see a lot of back and forth going on. I think the next couple of days of trading will be very crucial. So if we can get that break up, buyers in that ultimate control. I think buyers have a better look here. I like that new price action as well as really holding this general range. We haven't seen that on BBAI before, holding a $2 range for a considerable amount of time, continuing this back and forth battle. I think if buyers can find a push through those more recent highs here, I think we could be testing the top of this range, finally looking for a breakout and continuation. So we remain bullish on the stock. If sellers do end up bringing us back down to the floor again, look for a bounce there. I think we're looking a bit better for the upside here. Definitely do remain bullish and have a price target of that 872, as well as that break of that medium-term price target being 1036. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you want to see more BBAI content, make sure to like and subscribe. Let me know your price predictions in the comments below. And as always, trade smart, and I will see you all in the next one.